This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Monday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM channel 158. It's Gil Alexander alongside, right there, to my left, Kelly Bidlin, everybody.
Good morning.
Producer number 9. So much more than a producer. It's happening. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was great. Fantastic weekend in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Stayed far away from the strip, so yeah, it could have been anywhere.
Yeah. F1 came and went.
Came and went.
Except if you have my shower and still cold water.
Are you serious?
Still cold water. Yeah.
Wait, for like 4 days straight?
Yeah. Yep. Our guy, no, I showered. I'm manned up. I got in there. No reason for you to back away.
It is amazing though when you have cold water, how you realize every time how much quicker you can shower.
Oh, yeah.
if you need to.
Yeah, there's no lingering. That's for sure. By the way, shout out to Phil Bobbitt. I think he crushed on he didn't get the outright, but he crushed on the matchups.
Crushed on the matchups.
Yeah. What do you do? 7-2 on the matchups or something like that?
Well, I'm going to say there's mixed records going around.
Mixed records. You know what my problem was? I couldn't find his matchups.
So, well, I'm saying mixed records because I think that's the case.
Yeah.
One of the ones I heard best was, I think, 8-1. 8-1, if you faded the guys, he made a point to say, I'm fading these guys more so than it's a play on these.
A little creative stuff happening.
Well, I think it's smart listeners out there that seized on those words and then picked out those matchups at different shops. So I think it was I think someone said Caesars, like they ran 8-1 going that way.
Yeah, a little transitive property. If he had this person beating that person, well then, and this person beating that person, then I should have that person beating that person.
Exactamento.
Okay, there you go. We're done for the day. We've accomplished all we need.
We've done all we can do.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is guessing lines for Week 13 in the National Football League. As we start, and by the way, for those who are new to this, once again, I'm going to cocoon, I guess, what the lines are going to be in the upcoming week. We try to extract value once I make the guess, and then Kelly gives me the actual lines. And within that process, we look to extract value. I will say this, last week, I loved Philly and San Francisco the most. San Francisco was really the one we did during guessing lines, so that remains to be seen what the outcome is tonight. San Francisco hosting the Panthers. But the other one, the second bet that I made was the Eagles, -3. Couldn't believe that line. And, of course, we'll get into each and every one of these games. As we do this, we recap everything that happened yesterday in the National Football League. It's funny, the Cowboys with a tremendous comeback, coming back from a 21-0 deficit to beat the Eagles 24-21. I had Todd was telling me, that's awful. What a terrible outcome that is for you. And I'm like, no, it's not. Better team won. Mm-hmm. Better team won. Eagles just stopped. They couldn't do anything after a certain point in the second quarter. And as a matter of fact, their lead only stuck because of some self-inflicted errors on the Cowboys' part.
Yeah.
For a while.
I think it's one of these, I think we could even go back multiple seasons now with the Eagles. It's just, there are times in a single ball game where, and I thought yesterday was the best example of that, of when they were cruising early, all the Eagles' problems are solved. All you had to do is play the Cowboys' defense, and look how much better everything's working and looks. And then all of a sudden, you fall off a cliff. Nothing's working anymore. And like you said, I think they only held on to what they held on to for as long as they did because the Cowboys were making their own mistakes.
Yeah. It's also Scapegoat Monday morning.
Oh, it's incredible. These are a joke.
It was Scapegoat Saturday. I should say Sunday evening. Can't speak. Scapegoat Sunday evening. Raiders fired Chip Kelly, their offensive coordinator, last night. Didn't even wait till this morning. They also fired their senior offensive assistant, Bob Bicknell. He was Chip Kelly's right-hand man. Now both are gone.
Obviously the only thing that had been holding them back all season, Gil.
Clearly. And the Giants this morning firing defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. That, according to Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo, that's the first move by interim coach Mike Kafka, who's like, it's not me. That guy.
This one's actually way worse to me. I mean, the Raiders, whatever. You've had problems all season long. If you couldn't tell within the first 4 weeks that this Chip Kelly, Geno Smith, whatever you were doing on offense was a complete disaster. Everybody else could have told you that. The Giants, I mean, we're going to get into that game. I mean, Kafka made some decisions, some decisions in that game. I'm not sure that I was completely on board with. The Lions. Don't we always say the Lions at home? Oh boy, good luck slowing down that running game and everything. I mean,
though the Giants have lost 6 games in a row, and the Giants have given up. I mean, these are the final scores: 33-32, 38-20, 34-24. 24-20, 27-20, 34-27. So, I mean, on the one hand, I get it also.
But that was the one game that was the straw that broke the camel's back, not when they got rid of Dayball.
Oh, no, I'm with you.
I'm with
you. It's new man saying, putting himself in as good a position as possible to keep this job long term.
That, yes.
For sure. And by the way, I will push back. I think we'll get into all the recaps, but I'm going to push back on one of these decisions that people are criticizing from Kafka also. I don't think it was that bad of a decision. We'll get into all that. As we start with each and every guessing line, so we start with a Circa Survivor update. I was mentioning folks last week, I reinvested into somebody else's. I have 10% of somebody's. This just went from 939 remaining entries to 900 exactly. We've landed exactly on a 1,000 a couple weeks ago now. Now we're on 900 pending tonight's game. There are 298 entries left this week on the Niners. That is the most picked team this week. Mm-hmm. So if the Panthers can pull off the upset tonight, then this is a totally different picture. Just shy of 33.33% more will be gone of the remaining 900. But that's what it is now. It's 900 entries left, which means that 95.19% of the entire pool of 18,718 that started this are gone. And now when we look at this graphic, it gets a little janky now because in the 6-year history of Circa Survivor, remember, while Thanksgiving and Christmas weren't always a thing, Thanksgiving was always a thing. So, the first 4 years, 2020 through 2023, we're going to put week 12 in quotes here. This is what it was through, quote-unquote, the 12th week. So, in other words, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, those are all through Thanksgiving Day or the Thanksgiving quirk of Thursday, Friday. And last year and this year, Thanksgiving fell the following week, if that makes any sense. So through 12 quote-unquote weeks, what you have essentially is, still, last year was the most, right? But there are 4 years, everything from the first year to this year, where over 98% were gone after Thanksgiving or after week 12, if you will. And remember, in those for those who remember Circa Survivor history, 2021 was the year where I did the thought exercise. If you were listening to a numbers game back then, Grover Cleveland of producers, Jeff Parles was my producer, and I did the thought exercise with him, where the Raiders were playing the Cowboys. The Cowboys were huge favorites, and I said, Jeff, if there were 100 entries left, and you knew that 99 were taking the Cowboys, wouldn't you take the Raiders? He's like, I don't know if I could do it. I'm like, you have to take the Raiders. How many times at that time it was like 6 million or whatever it was? Yeah. 4 million, right? I was like, how many times in life do you get a chance to win that amount of money? By the way, the Raiders pulled off the upset. They won in overtime. So like 80 people just left on that game alone. So 80, and then I think there's 14 in another game. So 94 of the remaining 134 that year in 2021 got beat on that Thanksgiving game alone. And then 2023, you'll see, oh, wow, that was a Thanksgiving where 223 of the remaining 372 got eliminated. Folks will remember there was a Packers-Lions game where everyone was on the Lions, and they never had a chance in that game. Packers kind of coasted to victory, as I recall. So we are now at Thanksgiving week. Well, after tonight, we will be at Thanksgiving week. And it gets into this big Survivor strategy of, okay, you're going to we've seen these 4 games have been on the schedule. Everybody who's played this has had this eyeballed for the whole year. How many people have saved to play Philadelphia hosting Chicago? And after yesterday, does that feel as comfortable?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Right? And then the other one is Baltimore's hosting Cincinnati, of the 2 that people have really been honed in on. Does that feel comfortable? Do we know who's playing quarterback for Cincinnati? So, and then there's strategy, right? If you have one entry left versus you have multiple entries left. And we'll get into this tomorrow when we talk about Survivor. But this is hearkening back to that Raiders-Cowboys game, hearkening back to that Lions-Packers game 2 years ago, the Raiders-Cowboys one being 4 years ago. This is where prior to these games being played, it has to be stated out loud. If you have one entry left, is playing Philly the most optimal thing in the world? Or is playing Chicago the most optimal thing in the world? Because you have to figure that most folks were saving for Philly. And remember, you're trying to win this, not survive this. What advances you the most? What would advance you the most is for Philly to lose and for you to be on the winning side of that. So if you have one entry, really, you have to, by game theory, you have to consider playing the Bears. Now, I know there's a lot of people listening who are like, you're crazy. That's why you're out of it. Okay, but I'm just telling you, that's how optimally it should be played if you have one entry. Now, if you have multiple entries, different story. You can play it differently, right, obviously.
Also depends a little bit on what your path, what teams you might have left with that one entry, right?
Right, but what you're really doing is trying to anticipate. Again, it gets back to the thought exercise. If you knew that 99 out of 100 people were going to be 100 entries were going to be on this one team, it is your obligation to play the other side of that. Here, it's not going to be 99 out of 100, right? Obviously, that's a ridiculous, in theory, thing. But what can we anticipate being on the Eagles? 2/3 of the pool? 67, 66%?
Yeah, probably.
65%? Who knows what it is? Your guess is as good as mine. But I think that's an educated guess.
Yeah.
And if you know that to be the case, how do you play it optimally? It's one thing to talk about it in theory. It's another thing to actually do it in practice. But that's what makes this game so awesome. And by the way, I have no say in what the entry that I've invested in. I'm a silent partner. I have nothing to do with anything.
Or maybe you just said it right now.
I'm not saying it to him. I'm just saying it to you. Coming back, Guessing Lines, Week 13 in the National Football League next.
If you're serious about football betting, VSiN's got your weekend game plan. Fridays at 7 p.m., it's the Circa Friday Football Invitational. Saturday morning, VSiN's college football tailgate show at 9 a.m., breaking down matchups, props, and big-time bets. Later that night, join the football contest show as the sharpest betting minds give you their picks for Sunday's game. And Sunday at 9 a.m., lock in with Mitch and Paulie on VSiN's Pro Football Tailgate Show. Your final stop before kickoff. Check out the full lineup at VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
On the next edition of Prop Points, we'll see how many of our favorite player props cashed out for Week 12. Our Monday Night Football matchup will be the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Carolina Panthers. The Grinder, Tom Brawley from FantasyPoints.com, will join the program to give out his favorite player props for Monday night. I'll also pop out my favorite props, of course. I'll have a Monday night special as well. I'm John Hansen. Tune into Monday's edition of Prop Points at 1 p.m. Eastern, only on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Not a VSiN Pro subscriber yet? This is your best chance. Our Black Friday special is live, and for just $60, you'll get full VSiN Pro access to everything we offer all the way through May 1st. That includes daily best bets from VSiN hosts and guests, real-time betting splits from DraftKings, Circa, and Brocco, AI-powered prop tools, and weekly wide receiver cornerback matchup edges, 24/7 video and replays on the VSiN Watch app, coverage of every major sport through the spring, from football and hoops to March Madness, the NFL Draft, and the Masters. Our biggest new subscriber offer of the year is here. Don't wait. Go to VSiN.com/subscribe now. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. We get
$60, Gil. $60.
$60. We get tweets immediately the book. This is Larry Fresh. Says, I hope Kelly brought the Sky Scope to work. I'm out in the book. Thought I'd stop by to listen live to that little show you do, Gil's Guessing Lines.
Damn straight I got my spyglass.
Oh, Larry Fresh back there. We should wave. And Tony Farmer, who does such a great job with Circus Survivor, Tony's Market Tips. He says, started my morning great till Gil had to open an old wound and bring up that Dallas Thanksgiving loss in overtime in 2021. I was on Dallas that year, and I'm still not over the trauma. Great conversation about the game theory. Yeah, we'll talk more about it as the week goes on. In the meantime.
Maybe with Tony.
That's right. Feels like a Tony Survivor kind of week. In the meantime, let's do it. Guessing lines for Week 13 in the National Football League.
All right, Gil.
All right, let's do this.
Over under 1.5 times Kelly screws up game times days. I'm going to go with unders heavily juiced.
Games times days?
Yeah.
Oh, because there's Thursday, Friday,
Yeah, we're all over the place. All right, Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, the Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions.
You sure it's not 12:30 p.m. Eastern? Did they move it back a half hour this year?
They did.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, like, it's probably one of those coverage starts at 12:30 or usually
No, usually it is. I usually thought it was a 12:30 early start. Anyway, okay. You said Green Bay at Detroit. Okay. Green Bay yesterday. This was probably the most, can I say, based on the way Green Bay had been playing, maybe a surprising blowout. On the other hand, the way that the Vikings have been playing, maybe not surprising
Not at all, yeah.
Packers win it 23-6 over the Vikings. They were down 3-0, the Packers were. Then they go 70 yards on their second possession. 70 yards, on their first possession, 70 yards. Emmanuel Wilson in from 1-7-3. Green Bay, a little less than 6 minutes in. A couple drives later for Minnesota. 4th and 1 at the Green Bay 17. They're down 4. They decided to go for it, Kelly. Jordan Mason stuff for no gain. 10-3 Green Bay after a McManus field goal. Then the Vikings would cut it to 10-6 before the half on a Reichert 59-yard field goal. Will Reichert having a great season. Okay, third quarter. It's still 10-6 Green Bay, and here's where it started to get out of hand. Daniel Whelan punt. Green Bay has possession first. He punts the football. They're forced to punt. It hits off Mile Price's leg, recovered by Zane Anderson. Green Bay set up at the Minnesota 5. Wilson for 4, then 1. 17-6 Green Bay. Then 2 possessions later for Minnesota, 3 and out after 2 straight sacks that brought them down to the 1-yard line. They were in jail at this point. Then Green Bay from their own 45 would add a McManus field goal, 30-yarder, make it 20-6. Next time they get the ball, they'd add a 40-yarder, make it 23-6. And then Minnesota first play, McCarthy hit as he throws, picked by Isaiah McDuffie. Next time Minnesota had the ball, McCarthy picked by Evan Williams. You get the idea. Green Bay rolls 23-6. Vikings lose again, and we'll get to the Vikings later, but man, J.J. McCarthy does not look good. 12 for 19 for 87 yards, 2 picks, and 10 rushing yards. Not good.
Yeah, I gave the kid a bit, Gil. It took me a while to come around on this, but he ain't good.
We'll get to him. Green Bay ups their record to 7-3-1. Then the Lions, it maybe was the game of the day, beat the New York Giants and Kelly Bidlin's guy, Jameis Winston.
Woo!
What a ball game this was. In case you missed it, Giants started out 4 plays, 70 yards. 3rd and 2 at the Detroit 39. Jameis on a lateral from Devin Singletary to Wan'Dale Robinson as Jameis is getting crushed on a hit. He heaves it downfield just past the defenders. Wan'Dale touchdown, 7-0 Giants just over 2 minutes into the ball game. Couple possessions later for the Giants, still 7-0 now. Jameis to Wandale for 40, the big one. That leads to a Younghae Koo 21-yard field goal, 10-0 Giants at the end of the first quarter. At this point, by the way, Wandale Robinson had 4 catches for 106 yards and a touchdown, 1 quarter of football. Detroit responds, 65 yards. Goff to St. Brown from 11 out, 10-7 Giants. 11:41 left in the second quarter. Giants say, watch this. 6 plays, 69 yards. Jameis to Tyrone Tracy for 42 leisurely yards to start. Jameis to Isaiah Hodgins from 12 out on 3rd and 8. Great catch back of the end zone. 17-7 G-Men. 8:21 left in the second quarter. Next time, a couple possessions later for Detroit, 3 plays, 56 yards. Man, when Detroit scored, they scored quick. Gibbs for 49. Then Gibbs from 3 out. 17-14 Giants. 2:16 left in the second quarter. They would add a Younghae Koo field goal, 44-yarder, make it 20-14 with 38 seconds left in the quarter. You're figuring, is that enough for the Lions to do anything? Do they even want to try? Sure. After a Khalif Raymond 44-yard kickoff return, they get a Bates 37-yard field goal, 20-17 Giants at the half. Every time you thought the Giants were going to win this and pull away or just have an insurmountable lead, the Lions would respond. Second half now. Second possession for the Lions from their own 10. 3rd and 11 at the Giants' 20. Goff picked after the ball bounces off St. Brown's hands by Javon Holland. And the Giants would take that. 9 plays, 85 yards. Jameis flips it to Olszewski. Passes it to Jameis for 33 with some yak from Jameis. 27-17 Giants play of the day. 12-16 left.
I had the game on mute at that point on another TV, Gil. I'm like, who's this tight end rumbling and stumbling? Oh, no, it's Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston doing it all. Giants up 10, but Detroit would immediately respond. 3 plays, 81 yards. Gibbs in from 49. Jahmyr Gibbs was out of control. 27-24 Giants, 10:50 left. Giants then first play. You want the full Jameis experience? Picked by Thomas Harper. Detroit couldn't do anything with it, though. Set up at the Giants' 45. So the Giants, 3rd and 11 then at their own 7. 8 minutes left. Jameis throws it to the moon. Somehow Isaiah Hodgins catches it for 30. Later, 3rd and 17 at their own 43. Jameis escapes the rush, points downfield to Theo Johnson for 39. But 1st and goal at the 4, and this is the sequence people are killing Kafka for, and I don't agree. 1st and goal at the 4, they're up 3 points. Tracy for 2, then incomplete, then Singletary loses 4. Then it's 4th and goal at the 6 with 2:59 left. They're up 3. Everybody's saying, oh, you kick a field goal there. I kind of disagree. They went for it. Didn't work out. Jameis incomplete, intended for Johnson. And Detroit took over from their own 6 with 2:54 left, down 3.
So I don't hate the decision to go for it. I hate the play calling leading up to it, I guess.
Well,
in the early
that's
downs.
A different matter.
Yeah.
But people are killing him for not kicking the field goal there. I disagree completely.
No, I was very 50-50 on it, to be honest. I get it. You score a touchdown there. You likely put this game out of reach. Otherwise, you're up 6 with the Detroit Lions offense coming on the field. Yeah. I get it.
Instead, they're up 3. Detroit has to settle for a Bates 59-yard field goal that goes about 3 different directions before it goes in. And we are tied at 27. We're going to overtime. Detroit, first play from scrimmage. Gibbs in from 69. Oh, God. 18 seconds in, 34-27 Detroit. Giants would get it 4th and 10 at their own 30. Jameis for 11. And then 4th and 5 at the Detroit 27. 2 plays after Jameis missed an open Robinson. This time, Jameis sacked by Hutchinson. Ball game.
Throw it up, Jameis. Come on.
Outgained. Detroit was outgained by the Giants 517 to 494. Over 1,000 yards of offense between these two teams, but the same result in the end for the Giants. They lose. Detroit goes to 7-4. So you have the standings in the NFC North are the Bears in first place at 8-3.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers in second at 7-3-1, and the Lions in third at 7-4. So this becomes a monster football game between the 7-3-1 Packers at the 7-4 Detroit Lions. I said Lions minus 3.5.
It is Lions 3. And a light 3 most places. Pretty sure that's what it was on the look ahead when these were released early, reopened at 3. I don't know about you, Gil. I might have to bet the Packers again. This Lions team is not looking like everything's together right now.
Who was the last I mean, but the Packers, when was the last great? I mean, again, they're playing the
Oh, I
Vikings.
hear you, man. It's not going to be a comfortable bet if I bet it. It's not going to be comfortable. The defense is good, though.
I mean, yes. Neither team is unflawed. But I don't know.
I thought yesterday provided more clarity into the pecking order in the NFC, and we were kind of waiting on this. It is Rams, Seahawks at the top. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Well,
all these other teams are a solid tier down.
Feels that way after yesterday.
Packers plus 125, Lions plus 155, Bears plus 320 to win that division.
Kind of lean Lions there at -3. Kind of lean Lions.
Oh, man, the Jameis stuff.
And that's just the first game on Thanksgiving.
I got to tell you about some of the Jameis tweets I got yesterday later.
All right, let's do that. More guessing lines. Looking for value. The National Football League. It's a numbers game right here at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This Black Friday, VSiN's hooking you up with our biggest deal of the year. Just $60 for full VSiN Pro access through May 1st. That's 6 months of nonstop action from the heart of the NFL season and college bowl games through the Super Bowl, March Mania, the Masters, and the NBA playoffs. Get every VSiN Pro article, betting tool, AI projection, and expert pick, all for just $60. Don't wait. This offer's only for a limited time. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup, then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Ready to boost your bankroll? Broncos giving new depositors a 50% purchase bonus. Just use promo code VSiN when you sign up. Broncos lines are live on our VSiN betting splits page. See where the action is moving before you bet. Turn your bonus into an edge with insight that matters. Go to playbrocco.com. That's BRACCO. Playbrocco.com today and use promo code VSiN. We get tweets of beating the book. Always appreciate the feedback. Best listeners ever. Jason H11. He is a fan of, I don't know if he's a fan of Kafka's or he is definitely on board with firing Bowen as the defensive coordinator. By the way, Giants, some of these games we're talking about, led Detroit 27-17 yesterday with 10:57 left, lost. Led the Bears 20-10 with 3:58 left, lost. Led the Broncos 26-8. That was the most epic one. 5:19 left, lost. Led the Saints 14-3, lost. Led the Cowboys 37-34 with 14 seconds left, lost. Did I have all that right? Anyway, Jason H11 said, this is why Bowen lost his job. No way Kafka was going to be able to fire him as soon as he got the job 2 weeks ago. Also think Kafka was not in the wrong in choosing to go for it on fourth down. Either way, he was at least an 80% chance to win. So you agree with me on that. He adds, also in overtime, Gibbs wasn't even touched on that run. They had Dexter Lawrence on the bench. It's the first play. Might want your nose tackle in there. Guess where Gibbs ran? Gills guy says, hey, Gilly, love the show. Is there any data that says it's better to not use a timeout in the second half of games to prevent a delay of game? I always hate when teams do that. Feels like the timeout is more important than the 5 yards they save. Not that I'm aware of that there's any specific data on that. But it's an interesting point. Mm-hmm. Money Gun Guz, top 5 circa millions, week 12 consensus picks, win a magical 1-3-1 for the year, 22-36-1.
Wow.
At a beautiful 37%. Talk about craziness. Sounds like my entry. By the way, Circa Survivor.
That is wild.
Circa Survivor intrinsic value of the remaining 900, $20,797.78 per each. This was from Mike Zill's Duke 90. The Jameis rolling the dice knocked up Tutty Selly was epic. His touchdown celebration. If this was a boy band album cover, I would buy the album. And then A. Brown, that down in Jungle Land, says, Jameis Shakespeare, the bard of pigskin. He's comedy, he's tragedy, he's the most superior entertainment. NFL must institute a Jameis rule, permanent roving backup quarterback who can be tapped by any of the 32 teams that need a starter on any given week. Jameis for everyone.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of these good ideas. I heard Mike Somich talking about it as well. I brought it up before. I'm going to take it a step further, Gil. I actually think that every team at some point in the season should have to start Jameis Winston for 1 week. So you have to strategically plan when you're going to do that, when you're not. When you're going to bench Patrick Mahomes because you have to start Jameis Winston. Should have to do it. It's for the entertainment. Were you not entertained yesterday? The man is amazing.
Are you not entertained?
Mm-hmm.
Next.
All right, next up, we have the second game on Thanksgiving, Chiefs at Cowboys.
Chiefs at Cowboys.
4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific.
The 6-5 Chiefs at the 5-1 Cowboys. Both teams with huge wins yesterday. In the Chiefs' case, I mean, this was real backs against the wall kind of stuff right here. In their 23-20 win over the Indianapolis Colts, Chiefs' second play, first drive, 2nd and 7 at their own 7. Mahomes picked by Latu, who deflected it to himself. Indianapolis set up at the 3-yard line, 2 plays, Jones to Pittman from 6 out, 7-0 Colts, 8:11 left first quarter. Kansas City then, after a Kelsey would-be 4-yard touchdown run, was nullified by a Jawan Taylor face mask that Andy Reid should have challenged but didn't. They settle for a Butker 28-yard field goal, 7-3 Colts, seconds into the second quarter. Then the Colts' biggest drive of the game, 8 plays, 75 yards. Jones to Ashton Doolin for 48. The big one, 2 plays later, Jones to Drew Ogletree from 4 out, 14-3 Colts, 10:31 left second quarter. It would be 14-6 and then 14-9 on 2 more Butker field goals before the half. Then the Colts would get 2 field goals from Badgley, 17-9 and 20-9. And now Kansas City, from their own 28-yard line, this is into the fourth quarter, big Mahomes to Rice hookup for 42, gets Kansas City to the Indianapolis 17-yard line. But 2 plays later, Kareem Hunt is stripped by Zaire Franklin and Charvarius Ward recovers it. At this point, Kelly, down 20-9 in the fourth quarter, once that happened inside the red zone, did you say to yourself, wow, the Chiefs are going to lose this football game?
I wasn't there yet.
I didn't either. I'm like, they're going to figure this out somehow. Sure enough, Kansas City now. This is after Indianapolis went 3-and-out. 56-yard drive after a dropped would-be touchdown pass. Mahomes for 13, Mahomes for 9. Mahomes just saying, I'm running now. Hunt in for 2. Mahomes to Rice for 2-point conversion, 20-17 Colts with 8:37 left. Then trading 3-and-outs. Indianapolis with an additional 3-and-out after trying to draw Kansas City offside, 4th and 4 at the Kansas City 45. They decide to punt. Kansas City from their own 6 now, down 3. They get to 4th and 3 at the Indianapolis 43. Mahomes to Rice for 19. High pass, but a great catch. Leads to a Butker 25-yard field goal. We are going to overtime at 20 apiece. Overtime, Indianapolis wins the toss and chooses to receive.
Yeah, a couple times yesterday.
We saw that a couple times yesterday, yeah. They immediately go 3-and-out. I mean, the Colts, they weren't the Eagles in terms of like we did really well early and then we did nothing, but it was kind of similar.
Yeah. It was
kind of similar. Kansas City, first time with the ball, 3rd and 7 at their own 24 in overtime. Mahomes to Worthy for 31. 2 plays later to Rice for 21. That led to a Butker 27-yard field goal with 2. But this, by the way, before we just say, oh, that led to a Butker game-winning 27-yard field goal, can I crush Andy Reid a little bit more? You're not supposed to crush Andy Reid. But the Chiefs, on 2nd down with 2 minutes left, decided to kick that field goal. You should milk that further down to ensure at a minimum a tie if he misses or something happens, right? Mm-hmm. Instead, they decided to kick it. It goes in, Chiefs win, but just a little quibble.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was kind of jumping back and forth between this game, others, and I when they finally kicked it, Gil, I was kind of like, I don't know why they waited that long, or why didn't you wait longer at that point? Yeah. So I'm with you.
Chiefs outgained the Colts 494 to 255, and they were -2 in turnovers. Does that, we'll get to this question coming up after the guess, but the question will be, just to set it up for you, say more about the Chiefs or more about the Colts? Dallas, in case you missed this one, my goodness, what a ball game. Dallas comes back from a 21-0 deficit to win 24-21. 4th and 3 at midfield to start. Dak incomplete, intended for Javonte. Philly takes the short field, 7 plays, 49 yards. Hurts to Brown from 16 out, 7-0 Eagles. Dallas 3-and-out. Eagles 3-and-out, but roughing the kicker by Flournoy, who claims he tipped it. He tipped the punt, but replay doesn't corroborate it, so it extends the drive. Play after Brown falls to get fails. By the way, play after Brown fails to get both feet down before hitting the pylon with the ball. Hurts in from 7, 14-0 Eagles.
Sure did tip it too, Gil.
Closing seconds of the first quarter. Dallas then 1st and 10 at the Philadelphia 31. He did tip it, didn't he?
Yeah, and the NFL this morning blamed NBC for not having them the right footage to show it.
Wow. Dallas 1st and 10 at the Philadelphia 31. Then Kevontae Turpin fumbles the ball untouched. They put the 165-pounder in the backfield. He just stumbled and fumbled. That rhymed. Zach Bond recovers. Philly goes 66 yards. Hurts to Devontae for 41 on 3rd and 12 at their own 48. 2 plays later, Hurts in on a Tuchus push. 21-0 Eagles with 11:32 left in the second quarter. When I say they did nothing after this, I mean they did nothing. Dallas from their own 40. They get it to 1st and goal at the 1. Javonte stuff, then false start. Next play. 2nd and goal at the 6. Dak, ill-advised throw, picked in the end zone by Reed Blankenship. All right, baby, they did that. And then the next time they got the ball before the end of the half, Dallas 72 yards, Dak to Turpin for 48 to start. Eventually, Dak to Pickens from 1 out. 21-7 Eagles at the half. Third quarter, second time Dallas gets the ball from their own 4. Aubrey, 51-yard field goal try, wide left. So again, Kevontae fumbles untouched. Aubrey's missing a field goal. Still 21-7. Dallas from their own 11 next time, though. A couple accepted PI flags. There was 3. They didn't need to accept the third. Dak to Brevin Span Ford from 4 out, 21-14. Philly with 2:02 left in the third quarter. Then Elliott misses a 56-yarder wide right. That was a big game changer because then it's a short field for Dallas. 3 plays, 54 yards. Dak to Pickens for 43 to start. Dak in from 8. We are tied at 21 with 11:40 left. Philly then 2nd and 17 at the Dallas 38. Hurts flips it to Saquon. He's hit by Sam Williams, fumbles. Kenneth Murray recovers. But Dallas can't do anything with it. They got to punt it. And you know what happens on the punt, Kelly? Xavier Gibson decides to field it at the 1. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Hit by Elijah Clark. Trent Sig recovers at the Philly 8. 5:09 left. Javonte for 6. Dak for 1. Incomplete. But 4th and goal to 1 with 3:46 left. Dak incomplete, intended for Ferguson at the goal line. Is Philly still going to figure out a way to win this? From their own 1 with 3:38 left. Hurts to Brown for 11. To Devontae for 16. 2 plays later, Saquon for 8. 2-minute warning. Hurts sacked by Osa Odigizua. They have to punt. Dallas from their own 27 with 2 timeouts and 1:35 left. Dak to Ferguson for 7. Fumbles it out of bounds. 2 plays later, 3rd and 2 at their own 35. Dak to Ferguson for 19. 2 plays later to Pickens for 24. Great blitz pickup by Javonte. Leads to Aubrey's 42-yard field goal. Good. Dallas wins it 24-21. 473 yards. We'll get to the guests on the other side. KC at Dallas next.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
Lesson number 1, Patty's back. I still believe that Caleb Williams is not any good. And, other than Rome Odunze, I don't trust anyone that can't run the ball.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN.
Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game live from Circle Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander. That right there's my little buddy Kelly Bidlin, everybody. Disappearing before our eyes. Let's actually corroborate and clear up some stuff.
I had some Popeyes yesterday. It was delicious. Not really disappearing. Might be reappearing.
I grew up on Popeyes. So good.
I almost texted you because me and Gil every couple months have a fried chicken moment. Oh, it was so good.
When was the last time I had fried chicken? I just one of these
But that's because we only do it every few months.
I just want to get a bucket of chicken and just go to town.
That's what you told me 2 months ago, the last time you did it.
I haven't done it. No, I haven't. I didn't do it 2 months ago.
Never did it?
Nope, never did. Clarence Hill Jr. Tweets, NFL replay czar blamed Fox for botching / missing the blocked punt by Cowboys receiver Ryan Flournoy. The NFL is a billion-dollar industry, he adds. You could add that to everything, as you said off air.
Yeah, it really is. No matter how much complaining we do or anybody does, and maybe you sit at home and say, you guys complain too much, no matter how big of a thing it is, no matter how small of a thing it is, that line can still just be applied. It is a billion-dollar industry. You should be better at everything.
Mike Rouse on Twitter, as a Chiefs season ticket holder, I thought season was over after the Kareem Hunt fumble. Glad to be wrong. Yeah, that was the moment, right? That was the moment where you're like, is this team really about to go 5-6?
Dude, it was to answer your question. Well, okay. So at no point, I didn't really ever feel that concerned about the Chiefs. And I don't know about you. I didn't have them as a bet. I didn't have them on millions, Colts or Chiefs. I stayed away from that game completely. But it never really felt like the Chiefs were completely out of it. And going to overtime, it felt like that game was over.
Well, we've seen it so many times.
We've seen it so many times.
Roger Jones at Brocco wins. Gil, this is one of the reasons why you are amongst the cream of the crop in the industry. Thank you, sir. You certainly could have made the case that the Cowboys benefited from some calls in the second half, ignoring that Philly had everything go their way early. But no. Yeah, I try to be objective, man, even when I'm losing a bet. Honestly, for all the things that go against you, you're better served trying to be objective about what goes for you as well in the long run. Johnny Millionaire. Gil, can you do a segment on the details behind making it far enough in Survivor to then sell your entry or sell off shares? It's fascinating. I imagine there's info out there, but you have a unique way of cutting through the mishugas. Well, thank you, Johnny. I don't know exactly what you're looking for other than Survivor Sweat is the great sort of marketplace for this stuff. We talked about it 3-4 weeks ago that people were buying it for above face value percentages. I'm not a fan of that. Certainly not that early in the season. I'm not. I just bought my percentage for face value. I think that's what you ought to do. But as time goes on and the value increases per entry, and by the way, the exact entry value right now, $20,797.78 per entry. As time goes on, it will become so cost prohibitive that there will be some kind of discount built in. But
why couldn't I have made it till now? Just now, Gil.
Well, buy back in, man.
Would have sold off a few grand.
Yeah. I do
Still
think,
a nice
though,
ticket.
just to, maybe this is, I don't know, Johnny, if you've heard me say this before, the whole notion of monetizing, though, is so much more complicated than just buying a percentage of somebody else's. That still is the cleanest way of doing things.
Yeah.
And do it with someone you trust, ideally. This is from G. Strom, Boston. Looking like the Rams are the team to beat, guys. I have a money management question for the two of you. If my bankroll is at $11K, what would you recommend my biggest bet be at any given time? You guys are the best. Thanks. If you were flat betting, I would say, it's 2% of bankroll, right? So what are we talking about? $200 bets, basically, is what the standard is. But if you're doing it by Kelly and you've got edge built in, adjust accordingly. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of the barometer.
I love these types of conversations. Yeah. I'm a pretty big believer in kind of the 1 to 3% of your bankroll is how you're structuring bets. Was very strict by that for many years, Gil, I would say, as I was kind of building up. Now it's more, okay, if there's an edge, I'm willing to fire more on that.
I'm 100% that way. Yeah. The extent to which you adhere to that is completely, obviously, at your discretion. But if you're asking me for a barometer, that's the barometer.
It's tough to give this advice is not for everybody,
No.
right? But I think
No.
two of the most important things I learned over my years in sports betting, and I had problems early making the transition from playing poker for like full time, playing poker and then starting sports betting, and then completely moving away from poker and going into sports betting because I was betting way too aggressively. So learning and understanding bankroll management, I think, is extremely important. And then, Gil, I think you'd agree with this. As you get a little more advanced and you understand what you're doing and a little bit better, then yes, you have to know when some of that needs to be thrown out the window and you need to take bigger swings.
I'm not betting the same in the NFL as I am betting tennis.
There's also that. Every sport's different.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's just, again, it varies person to person. It varies sport to sport.
I bet at least twice as much over 4 NBA games this weekend as I did on the NFL.
My guess for Kansas City at Dallas, because I never got around to that, Kansas City minus 3.5.
You are right on, my friend. 3.5 across the board.
Figured if Philly was 3, Kansas City had to be right around there somewhere. All right.
Yeah, that's where they closed at, right? We opened, this was 3.5, 4 on open. It's 3.5 pretty much everywhere.
Next.
All right, next up we have the late game on Thanksgiving. Bengals at the Ravens.
Bengals at the Ravens. A lot of people going to be on the Ravens in Survivor. This is a dependent spread. We'll get to that momentarily. Cincinnati loses to the Patriots. Cincinnati was up 3-0. Then they were up 10-0 because New England second and 4 at their own 16. Drake May picked by Geno Stone, 33 yards to the house, 10-0. Bengals seconds into the second quarter. But then New England 9 plays 70 yards. Drake May. Drake May. You hear people calling him that? May to Henry from 28 out, 10-7 Cincinnati. And then Cincinnati returns the favor. 2nd and 6 at their own 36. Flacco picked by Marcus Jones, 33 yards to the house. Also 33 yards exactly for both pick sixes. 14-10 New England. Just like that. 7:42 left second quarter. Then New England from their own 10 with 4:18 left in the quarter. 4th and 1 at the Cincinnati 22. Borregales with a 41-yard field goal to make it 17-10. I like that Vrabel was taking field goals on 4th and 1s yesterday. He's like, we just take the points, dare them to beat us. Cincinnati from their own 18, though, with 17 seconds left in the second quarter. From their own 18, Chase Brown for 21, Flacco to Higgins for 16, McPherson 63-yard field goal, career high, good. 17-13 Patriots at the break. Second half, New England. First time they get the ball from their own 10. 4th and goal at the Cincinnati 1. PI on the defense. 1st and goal at the 1. No gain. OPI. 10-yard gain back to the 1. 3rd and goal at the 1. Ramondre stuffed. 4th and goal at the 1. Ramondre stuffed. Then New England would add a field goal 20-13. A Borregales 45-yarder. 1:04 left in the third quarter. But Will Campbell was carted off along the way. Then the next time New England got the ball from their own 20. 3rd and goal at the 1. May stuffed. 4th and goal at the 1, they decide at this point up 7. Vrabel's like, just kick the 19-yard field goal, go up 10. They did, 23-13 with 5:55 left. People who had New England against the spread might not have liked that, but for winning the game, that's where Vrabel decided to go. Cincinnati then goes 71 yards. That sees both Higgins and Iosivas hurt. Iosivas would come back. Higgins concussed. He wouldn't. Flacco to Mitch Tinsley from 17 out, 23-20 New England. With 4:40 left, they'd add a 52-yard field goal from Borregales, make it 26-20. And then Cincinnati with one chance now, one drive from their own 28 with 1:44 left. They convert a 4th and 1 at their own 37 on a Brown 4-yard run, but then 4th and 8 at their own 43. Flacco to Tinsley for 12. But 4th and 10 at the New England 26. One more try. Flacco incomplete, intended for Gesicki. Ball game. New England wins. Cincinnati loses. And then Baltimore and the Jets, there's really not much to say about this game. Jets cover, Baltimore wins. First half, you had to go to the second quarter for the first scoring drive. Jets, 12 plays, 79 yards. Taylor to Mechie from 13 out, 7-0 Jets with 4:04 left in the half. It would be 7-3 Jets at the half. And then the third quarter would all turn around. Baltimore, 74 yards. Henry in from 2. That's Derrick Henry, 10-7. Baltimore, 8:49 left in the third quarter. Jets, 4th and 2 at their own 42. They decide to go for it. This was a real game-changing play. Tyrod Taylor incomplete, intended for Mechie. Baltimore then 4th at goal at the 2. Henry in, 17-7. 3:30 left third quarter. Folk would add a field goal to make it 17-10, cut the lead to 17-10. Seconds into the fourth. And then Baltimore, after a Lamar overthrow to Hopkins, they settle for a loop field goal to put it back to 10, 20-10. Jets from their own 33. Tyrod to Brees for 40, the big play. Eventually 2nd and 6 of the Baltimore 13. Brees for 10, but he's stripped by Marlon Humphrey, recovered by Alohi Gilman. That might have been the play of the game because Jets couldn't get back into it after that. Next time Jets had the ball, 4th and 14 at their own 11 with 1:44 left. Incomplete, intended for Lazard. So this was the moment where the spread came into play, because if Baltimore just punched it in, they cover. Instead, 4th and 4, at the Jets 11, they settle for a loop 27-yard field goal, 23-10. It would end with Taylor getting picked deep by TJ Tampa. So the Jets, because of that last sequence, Baltimore getting the ball at the 11 but having to settle for the field goal, get the cover. Nonetheless, Baltimore the win. Cincinnati at Baltimore. This is 3 in favor of Baltimore if it's Burrow, 7 if it's Flacco. What are we doing with the spread?
7 right now.
So they're assuming Flacco, is my opinion on this.